So for many years now, in public hearings in the UK, Australia, and the United States, when TikTok executives have been asked, is user data going back to Beijing? They have said that user data is stored in Singapore and the United States. But where the data is stored is really immaterial if the data can be accessed from Beijing at any point. And that's what we have known for a couple of years has been taking place. And we know it even more now after last month's bombshell report from BuzzFeed based on leaked audio from inside TikTok, where they talk about how this data is being accessed in Beijing.
You know, I'm just imagining this sort of torrent of information, given the number of people who use TikTok. How does it become meaningful in terms of what Beijing may be looking for?
Well, it's very easy when you have this amount of data on people to paint a very vivid picture of someone's life. And you can sort of mosaic-like put all this data together, you know, the biometrics of the people who are using the app, what they're typing into the app, what is saved in their clipboard on the app, and you can start to paint a very vivid picture of who this person is and what their life is like.
And what do they do with that information?
Well, that is, we're not sure. What we do know is that Beijing has demonstrated for many years now that it has an insatiable appetite for this type of data, and they are hoovering it up. It happens via hacks, and it can happen via access to data collected by apps.
And that's, I guess, I think the interesting point is, could they target individuals and their information to bad ends?
Yes, that's certainly possible, and there is a track record from Beijing for this type of data to be used for nefarious reasons, including espionage, and for this type of data to feed into foreign influence campaigns. So there really is a wide range of uses for this data. And there's a reason why TikTok has been so hesitant to be upfront about the fact that this data is being accessed from Beijing.
And what is that reason? I mean, I guess too, you know, you could say, well, it's in Singapore, we're not interested in this information. But we well know that if any business if the government wants any information from any Chinese business, there's almost a national deterrent to pass it on.
That's right. And there's a whole suite of national security laws in place in China that make it compulsory for people and companies to cooperate with the government and hand over data if it's requested. And on top of that, if that request is made, by law, the company and the people involved will not be allowed to talk about it publicly.
Yeah, interesting. As you said, it's no different necessarily from other social media platforms. So why, you know, should it be more concerning to users?
I think it should be more concerning. I think in general, most of us, at least many of us, have become quite blasé about the amount of data that we're putting out there. And, you know, normally it's in service of surveillance capitalism. And as I said, most people have become blasé about that. I don't think we should be so comfortable with it. And when it comes to apps that come from the People's Republic of China, and where laws are in place that enable that data to be accessed and used for nefarious purposes, it's even more concerning because, after all, the PRC is a country that has 2 of our citizens in jail at the moment under dubious charges. They've slapped $20 billion worth of trade sanctions on us. So we're not exactly is seen in a positive light from Beijing necessarily. Yeah. So we have to be even more careful with our data.
Yeah. Realistically, can Australia do anything to stop it, or is it really up to users to decide how much access they give the app?
I think we need to see changes on both fronts. So I think it is up to individual users to make their own decision about whether they're comfortable with their data being accessed in Beijing. But in order for that to happen, TikTok Australia needs to be upfront with its users that is the case. Just a few days ago, they admitted it, but only in a very roundabout way. You had to really do a close reading of their statement to see that they weren't denying it. But what we need from TikTok Australia is for them to just speak plainly about it and to admit what their CEO in the United States and some of their other senior executives have admitted now, that this data is being accessed in Beijing. So it's a question for individuals, but it's also a question for policymakers and government. And we need to see regulation that cleans up this mess, no matter what the social media app is and what country it comes from.
Yeah, great to talk, Fergus. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.